Let's get going. Thank you everyone for attending this Tuesday Toastmasters meeting with Golden Speakers Toastmasters. It is September 9th, 2020 at our regular 7:45 Tuesday meetings.
What is today?
September 29th?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Our club mission is the mission of our Toastmasters Club is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Let's hear it for our mission. We do have a guest tonight. Paul, would you like to take the time to introduce yourself and tell us what brought you out here tonight on our virtual meeting?
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Aaron. Yeah, my name is Paul Chigozi, and I'm a Compro student at Maharishi International University. I'm pursuing my master's in computer science. Yeah, and what brought me to this meeting today? Let me see. So I've always wanted to join Toastmasters, like for a long time, and coming to the United States. But then for some reasons, I kept on postponing it. Yeah, but then I think last week, but one, I had to really sign up, and so I'm here. So one of my goals, one of my expectations from this is, well, currently I'm the Compro representative for my entries. So I'm a leader in a way, and I would love to see my public speaking getting better, and I want to hone my listening skills and presentation skills. So those are some of the reasons why I'm here, because I also deeply believe in communication. I believe it's one of the natural ways that we commune. Like I look at communication like a fellowship. Like you bring out something and then I take in, or I bring out something and then you take in and then you process it. To me, that experience is quite an exciting and an enriching process, and I would love to see myself getting better at it. So that's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
That was thorough.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to join us for this meeting. And Dan Craig is our Vice President of Membership. So hopefully at some point you guys will be able to talk, and we'll talk some more about next steps into becoming a member of our club, if that's what interests you. So we're glad that you're here, and we appreciate having you as a guest. Thank you very much. Besides that, we do have I guess a type of speech tonight. We'll be watching another international speech contest video and then doing a evaluation of that speaker, as we've done in the past few weeks. I'll go over that in more detail as we get to that point, but now I'd like to move on to the meeting proper. To do that, I'll pass it off to our Toastmaster for tonight, who is Art Atkinson. So take it away, Art.
Thank you, Mr. President. As Toastmaster, my job is to watch over the schedule, the agenda, which hopefully each of us has, keep the meeting moving, announce the theme of the evening and the awards that will be presented at the end of the meeting, should anyone qualify the way we ordinarily do. There are a number of role players tonight who carry out various functions to keep the meeting on schedule. The first of those role players is Aaron Russell, serving as tonight's timer. Aaron, would you please explain to all of us what you will be doing as timer this evening?
Will do. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests and viewers at home, as your timer for tonight, I am in charge of timing all of the speeches. So the evaluation speeches that we'll do, as I said earlier, as well as our table topics sessions and our table topics evaluator. I believe for the evaluations, can someone let me know? We've been doing 1 to 2 minutes, just like table topics, right? Yes.
Mm.
So for those evaluations of the international speech, I'll have the green background at 1 minute, yellow at 1.5, and the red background at 2 minutes, at which point we'd like to ask you to stop. Yes, you will have an additional 30 seconds to speak after that. I guess there's not really a disqualification, but just to give everyone an idea of where they are time-wise. But for table topics, there is disqualification if you go outside of the time frame. Table topics are impromptu speeches that are 1 to 2 minutes, so I will have the green background at 1 minute, yellow at 1.5, and the red at 2 minutes, at which point the speaker will have 30 additional seconds to finish their speech before they are disqualified from the table topics content. And then we have the table topics evaluator, who I believe will decide how much time they have based on how many table topic speakers we have.
Right.
So we will decide on that at a later point. But again, based on how much time they have, I will use the red, yellow, and green backgrounds. And then I will give a report at the end of the meeting. Thank you very much. Mr. Toastmaster, back to you.
Thank you, Aaron. The second role player this evening is Mr. Bob Fogel, serving as our grammarian. Bob, would you please explain what you will be doing as the grammarian?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. And thank you, fellow guests and TV viewers this evening. This evening, as I am the grammarian, I will be checking words that I'll be listening carefully to language, to improper language as well, so, many, things, ers, ahs, and that, and as well as duplicate words over and over. It is be my duty to introduce the word of the day, at which time, Mr. Toastmaster, do I do that right now?
Yes, you do, but we should make a little bit of a correction to your duties as the grammarian. Not overlap the duties of the ah counter quite the way you described.
Oh, yes.
The ah counter is the one who has some of those responsibilities. Please do explain to us your role with the word of the day.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, and I apologize for that. My word of the day is sublime. I have sent out to everyone, they should have received it on the chat. And sublime, which means of excellence, of grandeur, or beauty, to inspire great admiration. An example of it is after a sublime sunset this evening, we were awestruck with all the beauty and the colors in the sky.
Very good. Thank you so much. And you'll be giving a short report at the end of the meeting, correct?
Correct.
Good. Okay, our next role player is Carmen Anticona, serving as tonight's ah counter. Carmen, would you please explain what the ah counter does as different from what the grammarian does?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and viewers at home. As an ah counter, I'm just going to note the words and sounds that are used as a crutch or pause fillers by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. And also for filler sounds like and, or er. And I will give my report at the end of the meeting. Thank you, Mr. Toastmasters.
Thank you, Carmen. Tonight's general evaluator, Jean Symington Craig, will take over a portion of the meeting later on. And our joke master greeter for the evening is Carmen Anticona, who just spoke. The next event is the World Championship of Public Speaking evaluation exercise. And to lead that portion of the meeting, I'd like to call on Aaron Russell, the president, serving as the lead on this project.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests and viewers at home. Tonight, as we've done in previous weeks, we will be watching one of the speeches from the International Speech Contest, which took place last month. And we will be evaluating the speaker, the same as we would if we were evaluating any other speech. Yes, Jean.
I just wanted to mention, just so that we don't get stale, I wanted to change it up just a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So we've all gotten used to, after watching the speech and jotting down things that the speaker did well and things where the speaker could improve, both in terms of content organization and also delivery. I'd like to do something just different where we'll alternate. We'll have someone give a 1 to 2 minute evaluation of the speaker, and then the next person will evaluate the evaluator. So we're going to be doing both looking at the speaker themselves and then also how we're doing as evaluators. It's kind of that extra advanced high level
Okay.
analysis.
So almost a general evaluator role.
I just didn't want to do all of them because, you know, I would love to do all of them, but I think it would be fun to just alternate it. And so what was your question, Aaron?
Oh, I said what you're describing is similar to what we call the
Yes.
general evaluator.
Yes. We're going to go one step back into the abstract and evaluate each other as evaluators. And what I thought we would do is we could go, we can organize this after the speech, but why don't we do that? I'm thinking birthdays, you know, January through December.
Okay.
And starting with January, and you know, that'll be the order. And then the odds will do a speaker evaluation, and evens will do member evaluations, evaluate the evaluators.
Okay. Now we do have a guest.
He is not on the hot seat. So
okay. I don't want to throw him into the deep end.
No. Paul gets to just watch and enjoy. Okay, but it's analysis and then more analysis. So, okay, with a kind and loving heart, of course.
Okay. So? Does everyone understand what? Is everyone clear on that? It makes sense to me. I just want to make sure.
So still evaluate the speaker as we're watching, because you don't know if you're going to be evaluating the speaker or evaluating the evaluator. So let's just go ahead, and Aaron, we can go ahead and get it rolling, and then we can do the birthdays.
Okay. Dan, are you going to present?
Yes, I'll share the screen.
Maureen Zapala, it's so good to see you. It's so good to see you. Maureen Zapala.
You should have heard what she said to me. Maureen, look at you. You are fat, ugly, and stupid. You failed at marriage, you're a terrible mother, a lousy housekeeper, and you think people like you? They don't. Can you believe she said that? I can, because she's me. The voice was in my head. Now maybe you're thinking, wow, Maureen, I'm really surprised because you look pretty confident and put together. Well, you see the outside, but on the inside, I sometimes still hear a voice that says, Maureen, you're worthless. Do you ever hear that voice in your head? Does it call you Maureen? Contest chair, friends, you're not worthless. None of us are. Why do we still believe it? Why do we let that chatter suck the life right out of us? There must be a way to silence it. And there is. But you must be willing to do something. Something that I learned in college. The summer of my junior year, I was in the hospital laying on an x-ray table with horrible pain shooting down my legs. I was miserable and embarrassed. The pain had me in bed for days. For 4 days, I hadn't changed or showered or shaved. I felt like moldy bread. And that voice, look at you, Maureen. You've got greasy hair, smelly body, furry pits. You look like trash. You smell like it too. Then I heard another voice that wasn't in my head. It was the x-ray technician. He said, Maureen, is that you? It's been years. Wow, it's so good to see you. Oh no, it was Dan Saxtetter, my senior prom date. What are the chances I'd run into him? I guess pretty good. You know, when you're at your worst, you have the best chance of seeing an old flame. You see, in high school, everyone loved Dan. He was smart and handsome, captain of the football team. And he liked me. I did not look this good in high school. I didn't look this good 4 hours ago. I don't apply makeup. I install it. Oh, but the prom, it was a magical date. And our only date. And we lost touch after high school, so imagine how I felt a few years later, inserted in his machine, stinking up that room. Oh, and he looked so good. Hi, Dan. It's good to see you too. It was a lie. I was so ashamed and I just wanted to vanish. Then Dan took my hand, found my eyes, and said, Maureen, I know you're hurting and we'll help. But wow, it's so good to see you. That moment, when he found my eyes, he looked through those flaws and spoke life to my worth. That simple phrase, it's so good to see you, shattered the shame. And I felt safe and special, like royalty, like that prom queen I never was. Now, I still had pain. In fact, I needed surgery for a ruptured disc. He didn't relieve the pain, but he restored my dignity. And he silenced that voice that said, Maureen, you're worthless. But then there was a new voice that said, gosh, I wonder if he's single. What Dan did for me is what we must do for each other. It wasn't just his words. It was his eyes. They drilled down to the source of my shame and gave me what I desperately wanted. What we all want. Acceptance. I didn't just hear his words. I felt them. Because I saw them. He found my eyes, and that spoke life to my worth. The way to silence that voice, it's not to find Dan. It's to be Dan for other people. We need this today more than ever. We're isolated and almost afraid of each other. People are scanning the horizon, looking for eyes to connect with, a heart to connect with, even if only through their eyes. Your job? Find their eyes. Mask or no mask, find their eyes and speak life to their worth. Give them the acceptance they want. You know how it feels. Someone's probably done it for you. It's exhilarating and life-giving, and it lingers. I saw Dan 40 years ago. He has no idea I still tell this story. I have no idea if he's still single. We must do this for each other. Find their eyes and speak life to their worth. I can't see your eyes right now, but when I do, know this. It's so good to see you. Contest chair.
One minute.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
What do we do now?
Okay. Birthdays in January, besides me. When's your birthday? What day?
14th.
Okay, Jyoti's first. Jean. Anyone else in January? Okay, February. Going once, going twice. March. April. Yeah, I know. Dan, don't try to hide. I know your birthday. So Art, what's your birthday?
24.
No. Well, what's the date of the month? What's the date in the month?
4.
What?
April 24.
24. Oh, I thought I was hearing 40. Okay, so Dan is what are you, the 10th? And then Art's next. Okay, and then May, June, July, August, September. Bob, okay, Bob. October, November, October. Oh, okay, so two for October. Carmen, what's yours? What day?
2nd.
The 2nd. Okay. And Aaron?
4.
4. God, you guys are like trying to trick me or something here. I thought that was a new way to, yeah. So Carmen, Aaron, and then who, do we have anybody else?
That's
Okay,
it.
November, December. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so
And who's even and who's odd?
well, I'm going to tell you now. Okay, so Jyoti evaluates the speaker. Jean evaluates Jyoti. Dan evaluates the speaker. Art evaluates Dan. Bob evaluates the speaker. Carmen evaluates Bob. Aaron evaluates the speaker. And Aaron doesn't get anybody to evaluate him, but that's okay.
Oh, no.
We'll have Paul be a member and eventually he'll be the extra member. But anyway, okay. Paul, don't look shocked. Okay. Okay. So that's how we'll go. And Mr. Timer, you're going to time. So we will start with Jyoti Raj.
So how many minutes I have?
It's 1, 1.5, and 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Fellow Toastmasters, guests, and viewers at home. she started the speech very well, but I'd say it was like a little bit forceful starting. She has a very good gesture and very good hand movements, and her eyes was just fantastic. But I would say her gestures, her voice was not much resonating with what she was saying. She could have done little better than this. I would say the starting could be started with less of a humor or the smile, but with seriousness, considering the topic, what she was talking about. And slowly she would have gone to all those type of humorous acts and behaviors. But she was very good with her body movement, gestures, voice, and content was also very good. And the message was also very good. It's very relevant. But I lost myself somewhere during her speech and not able to track what she was actually talking about. So I have to come back to her speech again and again and understand. So she should have done it, make it a little flow easier and in a step-by-step progression, other than throwing all these things here and there. So that she could have done it better. And I found that conclusion was very good. She looked on the screen or the camera or the audience, whoever there was, and she was doing eye contact. As she said, you should look at the people and talk to them and listen to them. The perfect ending, the conclusion. But one recommendation I have that she should have a little longer conclusion than what she did. She has like 20 seconds of conclusion. More than that, she should have given some example or the situation now, what's going on, and how people can do that. She said you have to talk, look into eyes and talk. What did she mean by that? I didn't get it. I mean, I knew that from my experience or from my knowledge or from my intelligence, but not like what she was actually saying. For me, it was not that much clear. But overall, the speech was very good. Thank you so much.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, so again, the 1 to 1.5, 2 minutes. Okay. Well, thank you, Jyoti. That was very good. Very good. Jyoti gave comments both on the content. He liked the content. He had good things initially to say about it. She had good gestures. She had good eye contact, great eye contact. But then he started to break it down a little bit, almost like he was rethinking it. Voice wasn't resonating with her message, he said. And his suggestion was that perhaps she should start more seriously, because he was feeling that it was a serious message, and that somehow the way she was delivering it wasn't conveying that, if I was following that correctly. And he also mentioned, just as he started to think about the content, it was a little hard for him to follow, because somehow it was not organized clearly and succinctly. My suggestion to Jyoti would be to just to give examples. So how could she have changed the, let's just say some of the organization, 3 main points, 3 main areas, you know, the initial problem that she had with feeling worthless, then the middle is the story where she runs into Dan, and then and I can relate to running into Dan. I've done that many times. and then how she felt as a result of her coming to Dan, and then the conclusion. That's what we should all be doing for everybody, because of course it's particularly relevant right now because of the masks. So I would just say that could have been helpful for me to understand, Jyoti, what your suggestion would be to put some structure in there that she could follow if she were giving that speech again. So that would just be my suggestion for Jyoti for his evaluation of that speaker. Okay, so next we have Dan evaluating the speaker.
Dan, your microphone is off.
Fellow Toastmasters. I thought that she seemed a little bit awkward in some of her early delivery, but at the same time, I think she was trying to do something pretty difficult. So considering the degree of difficulty, particularly when she started out and she was doing the monologue about how worthless you are and all the things that you do wrong, and can you believe she said that? And I was overall pretty impressed by that. I thought that was really a hard thing to try to do. And though I felt some awkwardness, some of that may have just been maybe a little embarrassed for her or something, but I think all in all, it worked pretty well. The other thing I thought she did extremely well was facial expressions. The best example of that was right at the end where she said, "It's so good to see you." And she went right up to the camera and did that long, long smile. That takes a little chutzpah to, be facing an audience in a close-up and have that smile and not have your face go crazy or something. I thought she pulled it off. So I really, really enjoyed that part. I thought she did something very difficult and she pulled it off well. I thought all in all, I thought the organization was pretty good. I liked the story. It was a good organizational foundation for what she wanted to say. I've said this on some of the other speeches also, but the tendency to repeat that home message about whatever it is that they want to bring out in the speech, they seem to say it a few times too many for my taste. So I think that it gets a little old. But at the point where she was saying, "It's so glad to see you," particularly, "It's so good to see you," sorry. Particularly at the end, I really warmed to that. I really felt she was saying it with her heart, and she succeeded because that warm feeling that she produced in me.
Good. Okay, handing off to Art, evaluating Dan's evaluation.
So fellow Toastmasters, and particularly Dan, what I observe about your evaluation is that you were highly complimentary of things that I found to be overdone and uncomfortable. This is an illustration of the fact that our evaluations are a matter of personal opinion in a lot of cases. You complimented the structure of the presentation, you complimented the facial expressions, and the fact that she carried off what you judged to be a very difficult task in an effective way that communicated to you. You particularly liked facial expressions at the end, which conveyed sincerity and confidence, as you put it. And I am struck by the degree of difference between my own response to the presentation she gave us and your own. If I were to suggest something that you could do differently, it would be if you could carry off the difficult smile at the end with the teeth that seemed to be big enough for the jaws of a lion. That would be an illustration of why it was a hard thing to do if you could do it well. Thank you.
Okay, now it's Bob's turn to evaluate the speaker.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to start out, I believe her color scheme with the jet black hair and the pink dress with the blue eyes, with the white screen, it was just a real good color scheme. It got you riveted right in there is what you were looking at. I think that was well thought of because we could have put on about anything. But moving on to her speech, I liked her third person because it kind of threw you off at first who she was talking about when you figured it was her brain or herself talking to herself. It was like a third person, which I thought was interesting because I like doing that in my speeches. So it resonated with me when I saw her doing that. She presented the problem with her. She had some real neat words that I really liked. She had mental issues. She said that she was like moldy bread. And I've never heard that before, but that was pretty good. She had, the only thing I would suggest with the guy that she was all Google eyes with is that if she would have a little bit different voice for the x-ray tech, like, oh, you know, over a manly voice, talking to her, oh, her little girl, like, oh, and she could have played that a little bit better, I thought. Although I did feel her shame when she had that body language, that posture, like that little girl, like that, you could feel her shame. It was just like you see that, and I just really felt that. And then she had another great quote, which I really liked. Her eyes drilled down to my shame, or his eyes drilled down to my shame. And how many people have felt that when somebody drilled their eyes down to your shame, ripped you up? And I really liked her ending. Her ending being that we all been down there, unshaven, smelly, stinky, bad places in our life, thinking no one loves us, or we screwed up too bad, or whatever the deal is. And we long for those eyes, that technician's eyes being our eyes. And one thing I really enjoy about she shared was that it's our responsibility as human beings to share it with other people, because there's other hurting people today. Thank you for the speech.
Okay, and Carmen can give some evaluation of Bob's evaluation.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and viewers at home. It was a really strong speech from Bob. He was telling us good details about his speech. His voice was really in a good pitch. And what I like is that he was using examples. When he was talking about how was his speech, how was she trying to convey emotion or feelings from the audience, which I really like. He had a good comprehension of what she wanted to express through the feelings to the audience. My suggestion could be that even though we already greet the audience when we are talking about our roles, it's pretty good to hear that you again greet the audience when you are just doing the prompt speech. Because I feel like it's a better approach to the audience, and it's a good start. Also, I suggest you that your hand movement, I know it's really nice to just see that there is hand movement, but do not overuse it. because it looks like that the conversation is like a more informal than formal, but it's just my opinion. Overall, it was a really great speech. Thank you.
And finally, we have Aaron evaluating the speech. Can you time yourself, Aaron?
I can try. Or I can just have my stopwatch going on in the background.
I'll time
Dan-
you.
What's that?
You want me to time you?
Bob,
Sure.
Bob's gonna time. Bob's
Go
gonna
ahead.
time. Okay.
Go ahead, Bob. You got timer.
Yeah.
Timer paraphernalia. Oh, look, there he is. Okay.
Yellow, red.
Okay.
And it's 1 minute green, right?
Correct.
Yes.
1, 1.5, and 2.
Okay.
Hello, Toastmasters, honored guests, and viewers at home. The first thing I noticed about this speaker is that I thought was really great was her jumps between characters. This is always something that I notice a lot, and I think she did it particularly well. When she's talking as her consciousness, she's looking down at herself, and it makes her conscience seem very imposing, and I like that a lot. And that awkward kind of huddled up look over to the x-ray technician when she's supposed to be laying on the table, I mean, that just cinches the whole situation. It makes her seem helpless and at her low point. I think that something that I wasn't as big a fan of and is an unfortunate downside of the situation we're in is her background. I think it was mostly good, but I just wish that she had shrunk her camera up a little bit or just zoomed in a little bit, because there were stuff on the corners of the screen that were a little bit distracting, just the fact that they were there. Some of the humor I thought was really good when she talks about having smelly pits and saying that she doesn't apply makeup and she instead installs it. I think that's really funny. But other points, it felt like the humor was a bit forced. Like, does that voice call you Maureen? Or wishing that the x-ray technician was still single. To me, those kind of fell flat. If those had been completely cut from the speech, I don't think it would have taken anything away, and it would have had her message resonate a little bit better. So I would have just let the humor happen naturally instead of kind of forcing it in, which it felt like at times. I think that her movement was really good in this virtual space. When she's trying to talk directly to the audience and emphasize her point, she inches closer to the camera, like she's talking directly to you personally. And I like that a lot. I've seen that a lot in these speeches, and I think she did it really well. A few awkward hand gestures, like when she reaches her arms up and that smile. I know Dan said he liked it. I think it went on a little bit too long, a little bit awkward. I think it took some away, but I think the message itself is excellent, and that's something that everyone can relate to. And I think that story does a great way of explaining what her message is and helps it resonate with the audience. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, handing back to our Toastmaster.
So, Mr. Timer, apparently the next thing is for us to know which of us who just spoke.
I don't.
No,
Well, I mean,
we're just,
it's in there, but it probably shouldn't be in there.
Okay.
oh, is it in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving along, that I turn it over to the general evaluator, and right after that, we
If
go
we
to
just-
the technical topics master. So,
Well, don't,
have the general evaluator evaluate speech number 1.
the artist general evaluator, I'm going to hand off. The agenda is a little choppy because it's a template and it doesn't quite fit our situation. So I'm just going to hand right off to our table topics master and let him go. We're running a little bit behind, so that would be what I would do.
Yes, makes sense.
Okay,
Dan, if you would take it away.
time for table topics. As you know, table topics is our time to practice impromptu speaking. We're offered up a topic or a question, and we have as much as 30 seconds to think about it, but it's not really a prepared speech. So it structures in us the ability to kind of think on our feet, to deliver fairly quickly. And Paul, after one of the members goes, if you want to join in table topics, you are certainly welcome. I've got a few topics related to tonight's theme of, what is it, rain, or it's raining outside, or
Let it rain.
let it rain.
Let it rain. Oh,
We didn't actually read the quotes, but I think we'll skip that for now. I have 4 or 5 questions, and what I need at this point, oh, by the way, table topics is 1 to 2 minutes, and then a 30-second grace period. What I need now is a volunteer. Who is my first eager volunteer? Art, very good. Why don't you pick, thank you. Why don't you pick from 1 through 5?
5.
Think, if you can, of a song that has rain in the title or in the song. And then what I'd like you to do is tell us why it was you thought of it. If there's something currently or in the past that makes you resonate with that song and what it says to you.
Fellow Toastmasters, viewers at home, honored guests. My knowledge of pop music, in which the word rain might appear, is really limited. But the one that came to mind as you were pronouncing the question was the raindrops keep falling on my head. I wonder, is there anyone in the room who did not think of that song when he said it?
I didn't think of that.
The other thing that occurs to me is a Gene Kelly movie about dancing in the rain, which is a phrase that Sue Gale has adopted as a metaphor for learning how to navigate obstacles in life. It's not about dancing in the sunlight, it's learning about how to dance in the rain. But for me, the favorite piece of music that comes to mind, I actually heard for the first time in probably 25 years, last evening. It's a piece called Wedding Rain. And it's a piano solo by an incredible pianist named Liz Story, who recorded it for Windham Hill in 1982 or 3. And I loved it the first time I heard it in those years, and had an LP with that song, with that piece on it that's gotten misplaced. I've never played it in the last 15 years. And I found it on YouTube last night and listened to it 3 times. And it's just as good as ever. It's an incredible piece of music. Y'all ought to get it. Listen to it at least once. Thank you for the question. It's sublime.
Ah.
Right. Extra credit. Thank you, Art. I happen to have that CD around somewhere. I really
Solid Colors.
Solid Colors, is that what it was?
That's the album it's on.
Yeah, I agree. It's very good. All right. Art has set a high bar for us to begin with. Who's the next volunteer that wants to give this a try?
Paula's thinking about it.
Jean. Okay. I've got 1 through 4.
3.
Does rain make you happy, sad, or are you indifferent? Please explain.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, honored guest, and viewers at home. The answer to that question, does rain make me happy, sad, or indifferent, really depends on where I am in relation to the rain. If I am inside looking out and not needing to go anywhere, the rain actually makes me happy. It feels soft. You see the rain hitting leaves out in the yard, puddles. It's just very calming and soothing, and I'm not getting wet. However, if I'm leaving and needing to go somewhere, and that same rain is happening, now I have a slightly different emotion. Probably more, I don't know if sad is quite the word, but frustration perhaps, or particularly if I'm trying to keep my appearance looking in some reasonable shape, particularly hair, because hair and rain do not mix very well. Indifference, I don't think I'm too indifferent. If it's been raining for a while and I'm inside and it's just raining, then it fades into the background and I don't really feel one way or the other about it. I guess that would be my response, is that if I get to just sit and watch and enjoy it, and maybe if I'm out in the rain and I don't have to worry about my hair or my appearance, there's something soft and sweet and gentle about rain coming down. But if I do have to go out and I am trying to maintain some level of appearance, I'm not too happy about that. So again, my feelings about rain depend on where I am and what I'm trying to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean. On our schedule, we're stopping our table topics at 8:45, so we've got really just time for one more. Who feels inspired? Bob feels inspired. 2 fingers up. Okay, Bob, I've got 1, 2, or 4.
What 2?
What is your favorite thing to do when it's raining outside?
Thank you for the questions, Mr. Table Topics Master, and fellow Toastmasters and viewers who are watching this evening, as well as our honored guests. My favorite thing to do when it's raining is to make money. Because in my business, since I'm Four Gold Basement Repair, I am making money when it rains out. So when it rains, it's like raining money from heaven. Although it's a dual-edged sword, because while it's raining, going to be making money for business, it's testing my work that I've already completed. And people, when I sign the contract and say, yep, your basement's not going to leak, then that rain is not making me money, it's costing me money, because I didn't do my job properly to keep my money in my pocket. And that is why I love it when it rains. I'm one of the few people, when my family and friends ask me, oh, it's raining, what are you doing? oh, I'm smiling. I'm making money. I'm out there getting dirty. I'm having fun. Most people don't realize that when you were a kid, didn't you just love playing in the rain and you play in the mud, you slid around, you come out, stomp in the mud puddles, all that stuff? Well, guess what? I'm 61 years old, and guess what I get to do? I get to go run around in the rain, stomp in the mud puddles, and play, and I get paid to play in the rain. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters.
Okay, we could, Mr. Toastmaster, what do you think about the time? We've got a couple more minutes. Should we try to put one more thing in? Or?
One more.
One more? Okay. All right. Who wants it? Who wants to do it? Just need one more volunteer. Paul, do you feel like trying this at all? You don't have to, but you might enjoy it.
Hey, let me see how it goes.
All right, very good. I have question number 1 or question number 4. Pick one of those.
I'm gonna pick 1.
All right. Tell us about a time when you made plans only to have to change them due to the rain. Tell us about a time when you made plans only to have to change them due to the rain. You can think about it for up to 30 seconds before you.
Is it?
Okay.
Oh yeah. So I just signed up for driving school back in Uganda, Kampala. That is the capital city, and I used to do this usually on Saturdays because I had spare time. So this usually happened at around 11, 12. So on this weekend, on this Saturday, I woke up and it was raining, like raining really hard, and I was just learning to drive. So I didn't personally cancel the appointment, but when I called the driving school, it told me that this wouldn't happen because it's raining, and since I'm just learning, it may not be safe. That's it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that good? Yeah, okay, good. All right, good.
All right, thanks for
Got the-
joining in, Paul.
Got the question. All right.
Now we're going to ask our timer, Aaron Russell, which of our table topic speakers qualified?
All of our table topic speakers for tonight qualified, and they were Art, Jean, Bob, and Paul.
Okay, let's just take a minute and send a text to
Dan?
Art, since he is the Toastmaster. Yes, Bob?
I timed Aaron for his speech.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay. And
I wasn't for table topics.
you are not table topics, excuse me. You were for
Yeah.
the other. Okay.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah, another deal.
mind. Got it.
I was just saying, send a text to Art with your vote for the best table topic speaker. And you can vote even if you were one of the speakers. You can even vote for yourself, but the rule is you can't vote for yourself more than once.
And guests can vote, Paul, so you get to tilt the scales there a little bit if you want. All right. So while we're doing that, we'll go ahead and have our table topics evaluator Jyoti Raj, and we'll hear from him. And we had 4 speakers. Jyoti, do you, can you do 2 to 3 or do you need 3 to 4?
Yeah, 2 to 3 is good.
2 to 3 is good. Okay, so Mr. Timer, 2 to 3. All right, Jyoti. And yay, here's our table topics evaluator. Woo.
Fellow Toastmasters guests and viewers at home, the first speaker was Art Atkinson, and he took his time to think. I like that because that will give you a little idea on what you are going to talk. So he utilized that time, he greeted the audience, and he straight away jumped into the answer. And he talked about his experience and about what was asked. He was smiling, and I can feel his happiness on his face when he talked about his past and about his family. So that was really good to see. I felt that very much on his face, very, very warm and very happy face. The only thing I could suggest, just my battery went down, so I have to plug it in just a second. Okay, it's saved. I was on my laptop and it's the battery. Okay, so I was talking about art. So the only suggestions I have is on little more gestures and voice articulation. I'll say a little bit of up and down voice. That would make that speech even more better than. It was already good, but it will make more better. Jean, you also greeted the audience, and I like that you answered all the 3 parts of the questions. What make you sad when you ran? What make you happy when you are indifferent? So that was good thing. So that question was, when are you sad or happy or indifferent? But you answered all those 3. And it was really, you made it really good speech. You have very good facial expression. I like that. The only suggestion I have is you can utilize that 30 seconds to think on what you were talking. When you spoke about halfway through, and then I saw that you are thinking and talking and trying to pull it to the end. So I could feel that you are pulling it to other end so that you can utilize full 2 minutes. So you could think, you can plot your story beforehand and start speaking. That will not interrupt your flow. That is only the suggestion I have now. Bob, you had a very good story and you were very honest. You greeted the audience. You had a very good hand gestures, good facial expression, and it was humorous too. You were very honest and you made it very, very humorous, and I enjoy that. It was a very good. I will think of a suggestion and come back to you later. I don't have any now. And Paul, congratulations for coming to the stage, and this is the beginning. Congratulations once more. I have only one suggestion, that while you talk, look at the audience. That is the only suggestion, and greet the audience in the beginning. That will make your speech great, more greater, I say. Thank you.
Thank you, Jyoti. Moving right along, we're going to, as the general evaluator, we're going to go ahead and have our role reports, which is always just a sublime time of the meeting because we really get to see how well we've done. So we'll start with our timer, Aaron Russell.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. For our evaluations and evaluations, I will list the times. Jyoti, 2:10, Jean, 1:47, Dan, 2:20, Art, 150, Bob 215, Carmen 208, and Bob, what was my time?
Well, you were 230.35.
Oh,
Okay.
Good
One
thing
thing.
we,
Okay.
I don't know, how do you want to take it, Aaron?
good thing we weren't, we're not, there's nothing
Horse
on,
nothing, no,
Right.
nothing at stake
Yeah.
here.
right.
Aaron, I was supposed to about for 3 minutes, and I saw the red flag on 2 minutes. Shouldn't that be at 2:30?
What,
Just now for the table topics evaluator?
Yeah.
I mean, I had 3:30.
3:30.
It was 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I spoke for 3:30.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Then that's. I heard like 2:30. That's my bad.
No, and well, that was for the report on
Okay.
the.
Okay. Okay. I thought this is for.
No,
Sorry.
so I'll
Sorry
get to
about
that.
Sorry about that.
Moving on. Art, for table topics, Art was 2 minutes, 9 seconds. Jean, 2:14. Bob, 1:52. Paul was 1 minute, 14. And then Jyoti, as the evaluator, was 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So literally, like, could not be any more right on the cusp of, and that's my report.
Hey. Thank you. Now we'd like to hear from our stalwart grammarian, Bob.
Thank you, Jean. This evening's word was sublime, and only one person that I caught used it, and that was Art on the kicker. Great job, Art. Yay, yay.
It was an afterthought when I was.
You got in. I didn't.
Bob's on pain medications.
It is. I get you. I want to remember what I'm saying unless I look at my.
Yeah.
As far as the grammarian, the things I found out was Jyoti. I like the word you use, resonating. I just like that word. Dan, he said he had extremely well facial expressions. And then when he was evaluating that she was speaking about the speaker, and he felt like it was in his heart. I like how Dan said that. Art, he conveyed sincerity and confidence. And then also, Jean, it was funny how she mentioned that her hair and the rain do not mix. I thought that was a good quote. I like that. I think most people would agree. Most people, not all people. And Paul, it was great to hear from you about Uganda. So good job. And that's the end of my report.
Okay. Thank you. Now we'd like to hear from our counter, Carmen Antacona. You've got your mic on, just a reminder. No, Carmen, you have your mic on.
Mute.
Yeah. We need to hear your words. Okay.
My report for tonight is Jean, 3 R's, 1 2 repeats.
Okay.
Art, clean, Jyoti, 3 R's, 1 1 but. Dan, clean, Aaron, 1 1 R, and 1 repeat. Bob, 1 R, 1 so. Me, at least 1 R, and at least 1 And our guest, Paul, clean. So he's perfect tonight.
Yay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Madam Counter. And now, putting on your other hat, let's have a joke for tonight.
Here we go. How can you wrap a cloud?
How do you wrap a cloud?
Yes. With a rainbow.
Oh,
Okay.
Good one.
Bow.
Can bees fly in the rain? Not without their yellow packets.
got their yellow jackets. Ah, yes.
Oh.
Yes. What did one raindrop say to the other? Two is company, three is a cloud. And the last one, how do thunderstorms invest their money? In a combination of liquid assets and frozen assets.
Good. All right, thank you, thank you. All right. All right, now for the general evaluators report, just very quickly. The only evaluator I have today to evaluate would be Jyoti. So I'll just run through very quickly his evaluation of table topics. We had a lot of evaluation today. He did evaluate art. He gave things he liked. He made suggestions for art, more gestures and vocal variety to the degree that art can do that. And so that was good. Things he liked, suggestions for improvement. I'd like to see comment as well. This would be my suggestion for Jyoti would be, how well did art prepare an opening, a body, and conclusion? Did his content have a structure? And then also would say that for arts, the question, we like to have the table topics evaluator just say very briefly, just a phrase, what was the question? Because by the time we get to that, we don't remember what question he was answering. And so it's helpful if you're the evaluator just to say, well, you know, art was given the question about what song, or where was there rain in the title or in the lyrics in some way. So then that helps remind. Also, a couple of grammatical things that I heard, Jyoti, with art, you said more better, and you would just want to say better. This will make it better, or this will make it more, I don't know, emotional.
Oh, that was just emphasis I'm giving. That's a way of speaking, not a grammatical mistake. I'm saying more better.
Well, it's technically not grammatically correct. So, you know, I just would point that out. And if you had only done it once, maybe we let it slide, but then on Paul, you said more greater.
Yes, that's also I emphasized. It's not like a mistake. I know that.
Now, what is it? What is it you're saying?
It was not a mistake. I intentionally did that.
Oh, you're just you kind of playing with
it's
words?
just a language.
Oh.
It's my way. It's my way.
Uh-huh. Well, I pointed out for the grammatical part of it. So if everybody knows that you're just playing, that's one thing. I didn't, that wasn't clear to me. So I heard a grammatical thing. But anyway, and then for me, he gave things he liked, facial expressions, he enjoyed it. He did give me a very good comment about using using a little more time at the front, the 30 seconds, to think a little further, because I did get into it and then I paused a little bit as I started to see more unfold. So that was very useful for me. I don't have a suggestion for him on me for that. He did mention the question. So he changed it from art to that. Bob, he didn't remind us of the question. So again, that would be a standard piece to do. What was the question? He mentioned things that he liked and humor, excuse me, hand gestures and all. And he said no suggestions, which we always want to try to have a suggestion. And I know but sometimes something's really good and it's just hard. So in a way, it's a backhanded compliment to someone. But again, everybody can use a suggestion. So, and I know Jyoti, this is why I'm doing this to you, because I'm just getting you all revved up, because Jyoti has been one of our best evaluators in the club. And he's took a break and now he's back. So finally, Paul, he gave a suggestion. He said, great. And we always love it when somebody new just gets up and shows us what, gets in the game. So that was great. He said, and he gave him a suggestion, which is useful in these days of Zoom, about making eye contact with the camera to help your audience feel like you are connecting. And the suggestion I was going to make was not to do the more greater, but we've already talked about that. So that's my report for Jyoti. Now thank you. Now we'll just go on over and I will turn the meeting back over to our Toastmaster, Art Atkinson, to bring us on home.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. The time has come for our award presentation of the evening. We have one evaluator who qualified at 3 minutes and 30 seconds and no hundredths of seconds. Jyoti Raj.
Whoa, best evaluator.
And we have a table topics winner, Mr. Bob Fogel, as best table topics.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
And with that, I will return the gavel to the club president, Aaron Russell.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests and viewers at home, thank you for another very spectacular meeting. I'd like to call on our guest, Paul, once again. If you wouldn't mind maybe describing to us what you saw tonight and maybe what you liked about our club and meeting and the environment and all that, if you wouldn't mind.
One thing, you can just do one thing just so you don't get feel too on the spot.
And try it off mute.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fellow, Toastmasters, viewers at home, and okay, I'm the guest, so I'll skip that. So, sorry, but yeah, so what I've seen and what I've really loved most, the part that I've really enjoyed most is the table topics. It's really amazing to see how you guys can come up with well-structured communications, like on the spot. I love that. That was very good. It really made me feel excited. Like, yeah, I almost like, it kept me smiling all the way when I see you guys doing all that. So that is one thing that I really loved a lot. And then the other thing is, the feedback, the feedback part. I believe in feedback, and I believe it's one aspect of improvement that shouldn't miss out, and you guys have it, and it's really great. So generally, I loved it. And for the, I forget the name, but I think you called it the story of the day. Okay, the story of the lady who presented, like the video that we watched.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. When I was watching it, it looked perfect to me. Yeah, and and in my head I was like, okay, how is this evaluation going to be? Is everyone going to praise her and thank her for a good story? But then when when the members started to evaluate her, I started seeing what you guys were saying. So that was really good. It was, for me, from from where I am, it felt like, yeah, there is really value here, something to really look up to. So
Excellent.
that's it. Yeah. Thanks.
Great,
Very
great.
good.
How
Thank
was
you
my
for-
eye contact? How was my eye contact? Was it better? I don't know.
Yeah, it's better now.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's better.
yeah,
Improved.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's what Toastmasters is all about, is getting better each meeting. We appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight, and hope that you'll stick around after the meeting to talk some more about the Toastmasters experience. Thank you, Paul. A couple other announcements I have. Officers meeting is next week, so as always, it's the first Tuesday of the month. Officers are required to attend, but anyone who is a member of Golden Speakers is invited to attend, and it will be at 7 o'clock on Tuesdays, right before our regular meeting next week. Besides that, I just got an email yesterday. I don't know if others saw it, the hybrid District 19 huddle. Did other people see that?
Saw it come in, I didn't read it yet.
Okay. So it's on October 24th. Looks like the in-person will be at Grandview University in Des Moines, and then they'll also broadcast it online. It didn't sound like they'd broadcast the whole thing, maybe just sections of it. I guess it wasn't entirely clear how that virtual thing would work. I will be busy that weekend, so I will not be able to attend in either capacity, but everyone, I encourage those who can attend, even if it's just virtual, to just check it out. I mean, it's good to have that communication, be involved at the district level, have ourselves seen there. Any other announcements? Going once, going twice. What is that? Oh,
Time out.
all right. I call this meeting over. Thank you all very much for your contributions to tonight's meeting. We can stick around to chat after the meeting. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.